Dearest listeners,
Book babes and book bros.
welcome to Book Babble. I'm Rachel,
And I'm Tanya, and we're the Witlet Women, your hosts for the day.
and today we have Lana B Knight in our hot seat for the rapid fire AMA questions. Would you like to introduce yourself quickly for us?
Yes, my name is Lana B. Knight. I am a fantasy indie author living in Canada. Legend of Zelda and Game of Thrones are huge sources of inspiration for my fantasy debut, Starheart, that follows along a woman who I thought I would be when I grew up. I love storytelling, and I'm so incredibly honored to be here today. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we are honored and happy to have you on. So I'm going to go ahead and put 5 minutes on the clock. Are you ready to babble?
Oh, I sure am. I love talking.
All right, and go.
Okay. Could you describe the world in which Starheart is set?
Yes, so Starheart is a blend of Game of Thrones and Legend of Zelda. And like I said in my intro, they're huge sources of inspiration. Basically, you're just dropped down into this world with no information because my main character has no memory of the past 14 years of her life. And it's in the blurb, so it's not a spoiler. So you know as much as the main character does, and you learn basically the world along with her.
It's amazing. Oh my gosh, I just got even more excited to read it. Um, so keeping with this theme, what tropes are in Starheart and which were your favorites to write?
All right, so we have morally gray female character. We have Shadow Daddy, of course. We have we well, what is it? So Legend of Zelda and Game of Thrones inspo. We have a toucher and you die moment, but he doesn't have to say it for the message to get across. It's like all in the eyes. We have masks. We have medieval sort of paint of medieval fantasy sort of overview. We have disability representation, which was incredibly important to me. We have ethnic representation. We have ADHD main character. And my favorite to write probably was The Mask. I'll be honest.
God, I'm
It's
just
like not a
swooning.
yeah.
I
Swooning
love
for
you're like,
the
if I
Literally a
trope.
wasn't convinced
trope.
before, I am now.
I'm just gonna melt into a puddle right now. I'm so
I
excited.
love that.
What inspired you to write and who influenced your writing?
So I was inspired to write when I was playing video games like Legend of Zelda. It was my first true introduction to fantasy. While Harry Potter and Chronicles of Narnia, they've always been quite solidified in my childhood. I really immersed myself in sort of the being a part of storytelling with Legend of Zelda because when you're playing a video game, you become the main character. You are Link, essentially, right? So that sort of got ingrained in me in terms of wanting to be the hero of my own story. And then getting into theater as a kid, I realized, wait, people make scripts. There are people out there who write books. Wait, can I do that? And so because of the influence of Legend of Zelda and how many thoughts were roaming around in my head and then being in theater as a kid, I'm like, wait, what if I like do both? And so thus began the year after year trying to write Starheart and failing, but I never gave up and that's why I'm here.
That's incredible. I'm just so stuck on the this Legend of Zelda aspect. So thank you. Um,
Of course.
so who is your favorite character from Starheart and why?
So I can't tell you because it's a little bit of a secret. But there's this one character who is a representative of my sort of assuredness when I became an adult, and she really feels like sort of like a blanket to me when I wrote her, sort of like the security. And so I'm so excited to have everyone meet this character. I want to say so much more, but I want people to to like really absorb her for herself and basically get their own impression. But essentially, it's a character that represents my confidence as an adult.
We're gonna have to revisit this once your book comes out so I can know for sure if I know I'm if we're thinking about the same character.
Yes, I would love that.
So one of the questions that we got a lot about your book in particular was what kind of diversity and representation can we look forward to in Starheart?
Right. So I think it was important to me to have disability representation. Living in Canada, it's a melting pot of different kinds of peoples, ethnicities, and disabilities. So I wanted my story to kind of have a realistic take on my world here because Starheart is parallel to the things that happen in the real world. So we have the main character who is ADHD. We have we have people who are amputees. We have blindness. We have what's it called? Down syndrome. We have what else? Oh, goodness. I wish I had a list. But basically, all of these, they're just realistic parts of. Oh, oops.
No, you're keep going. It's just like this weird sound that pops up that I interrupts you.
I'm
Sorry. Go ahead.
It's all good. It's basic, and so that's the on the top of my head. I can remember the disability representation. In terms of ethnic, we have anywhere from Middle Eastern features. We have Black people. It's just like everywhere. Basically, what Canada looks like, it's what Starheart looks like, and that was incredibly important to me.
That is so exciting. I particularly really find myself drawn to books that have very diverse representation, and to see that wrapped into a fantasy world where we're not pitting, good versus evil based on somebody's appearance. I just think it's incredible the way that we've really created more diversity and equity in that, and I just love that. So thank you for doing that.
Of course, yeah, it's just realistic in my opinion.
Well, we are out of time for the 5 minute AMA, but you all can, our listeners and viewers can watch and listen to the full episode on our YouTube and Spotify.